Hello, welcome to Movie Rewind. Today I will show you a 2022 American action film called Section 8. Watch out as this video contains spoilers. Enjoy! During the US war in Afghanistan, a Marine platoon is dispatched to a town to neutralize a threat. Captain Tom Mason commands the group. Everything goes well and the Marines quickly neutralize the threat. Unfortunately, the platoon is ambushed by Taliban soldiers, and everyone is killed, save for Jake Atherton and Tom Mason. 5 years later, Jake resides in Riverside, California, alongside his wife and son. Jake works as a mechanic at his Uncle Earl's auto shop. One morning, Jake arrives at work and suspects something is awry when he spots a car belonging to a local Mexican thug called Fresh. Suddenly, Fresh and his thugs step out of the auto shop and pick a fight with Jake. Jake easily beats up the men with a wrench. Fresh and his goons leave, but Jake fears that the men will be back. Earl reveals that he had money issues with the thugs back when he was a gang member. Later on, Jake drives home to find Fresh pulling out of his driveway. Scared, Jake runs into the house, which is in complete chaos. A few meters away, he sees a scene that paralyzes him to the core. His wife and son are lying in a pool of their blood in an embrace position. Everything seems unreal to Jake, and he does not snap out of it until the police detective asks him if he knows anything about the culprit behind the massacre. Jake remembers his family, and rage fills him. He jumps into his truck and drives to the local strip club, where Fresh and his goons hang out. Jake sees the men having a good time, not caring that they have just shattered his whole life. Hatred fills his heart and eliminates every gang member in the club. When he gets to Fresh, the latter reveals that he had to do it. Jake ignores the man and kills him. 5 months later, Jake is in prison. He spends his day working out, but the memories of his family and their deaths haunt him. One day, he receives a visit from Tom, who wants to reopen his case. Unfortunately, Jake says he feels no remorse for what he did and would gladly do it again to avenge his family. He urges Tom to forget about him as he is content with spending the rest of his life in prison. That night, Jake remembers how Tom retired after the disastrous mission. He feels that he owes his life to Tom. Sometime later, Jake is visited by a man called Sam Ramsey. Before Ramsey can pitch to Jake, the latter insists on being returned to his cell as he is disinterested. Jake is sleeping in his cell room when elite mercenaries break in, rough him up, and sedate him. When he comes to, he finds himself on a roof with Ramsey and the mercenaries. Ramsey explains that he runs a small task team with 16 operatives called Section 8. The group receives its missions from the NSA and is highly discreet. Most operatives are like Jake, the best in their fields but not lucky in life. Initially, Jake refuses to join the team, but seeing as this might be his ticket outside prison, he agrees. He's given a new identity and told that joining the team means he is officially deceased. Ramsey leaves the other teammates to initiate Jake into Section 8. A selfish guy called Ajax starts attacking him. Jake refuses to fight back, but when Ajax nearly pounds him with his boot, he defends himself. Ajax is pretty annoyed when Jake defeats him before the other teammates, and he promises to do whatever possible to get even. The first mission that Jake is tasked with involves retrieving some important schematics files and killing the perpetrator. The mission goes successfully, but Jake fails to eliminate 2 innocent women hiding in one of the cars. After giving the report, Ramsey scolds Jake for hesitating, reminding him to get his mind in the game as hesitation might mean death next time. Jake retires to his new apartment to rest and await further instructions. Jake's partner, Liza Muller, reports that Jake did a great job on his first mission. Ajax calls Ramsey out for tolerating insubordination, so Ramsey asks Liza to keep an eye on Jake. Meanwhile, Jake is again plagued by his family's memories, so he drinks at the nearest pub. Liza meets him there, and the two have a heart-to-heart conversation that brings them closer. Elsewhere in Reno, Nevada, a freelance assassin, Leonard Locke, breaks into a casino and eliminates his target. On the way out, he is attacked by mercenaries disguised as police officers, but Locke manages to exit the casino and call the job in. Soon, Jake is tasked with another mission. He and the team will retrieve some incriminating case files from US Senator Bill Graham, who is holding his re-election campaign in Fresno. Jake wonders why Section 8 bosses want a senator dead, but Ramsey snaps at him to do his job. The team quickly infiltrates the compound, but their presence is detected, causing the senator's bodyguards to whisk him away. Liza sneaks into the offices to retrieve the files, while Jake runs after the van carrying the senator. After Liza retrieves the files, she rushes back to the van to leave. Jake manages a maneuver that lands him before the senator's van. He kills the driver, but when he goes to shoot the senator begs for his life as he has a wife and a son. These words trigger something in Jake's mind, causing him to hesitate. From above, Ajax shoots at the senator and taunts Jake for his reluctance. Later that night, Jake is at home plagued with memories when he sees silhouettes of armed men outside his house. He sneaks out before the men can kill him. Jake reconnects with Mason and explains everything that has been happening to him. Mason explains that the initial Section 8 group had been dismantled in the 80s and had quite a reputation. He fears for Jake's life as the team is relentless and efficient. Jake asks for some money and a gun. He then travels to New York, careful to avoid being followed. Here, he calls Ramsey, wondering why the man sent assassins after him. Ramsey explains that he is a loose end and must be tied since he is ineffective for the job. After missing Jake, Ramsey asks Liza to contact Locke for help. Locke agrees to do the job and soon catches up with Jake, who is now chatting with a boy, his son's best friend. The boy says everyone thanked Jake for getting rid of Fresh as he was a menace. He also mentions that Fresh hung out with dudes in suits and black goggles. Suddenly, Locke starts shooting at Jake, hitting several bystanders. Jake pushes the kid into the nearest building and runs away, dodging the bullets. Fortunately, some police officers arrive and face off with Locke in a shoot, allowing Jake to escape. Jake meets up with his uncle Earl. The two men are happy to see each other, and Earl feels guilty for causing Jake's trouble. However, Jake has nothing but gratitude for the man who adopted him and took care of him. Soon, Jake senses that the assassins have found them. A fierce shootout begins, which ends with a hand-to-hand combat between Ajax and Jake. Ajax has the upper hand, but Liza intervenes and kills him, saving Jake's life. Jake wants to go after Ramsey as this is the only way he'll be free, so Liza agrees to help him. The two travel to Montana where Ramsey is hiding out. To Jake's dismay, Liza betrays him and confesses that she had to use any method to bring him to Ramsey. Mason also appears as part of the team, and the betrayal hits Jake like a ton of bricks. More so, Ramsey reveals he is the one who ordered the hit on Jake's family. Mason is disgusted that Jake ended up working as a mechanic while he had potential to be something better. The three tie up Jake and leave to discuss his fate, in which Ramsey wants him dead. Mason sneaks back into the prison and explains that he had been contracted to take down Section 8 and had no idea that Ramsey was behind the murders. Jake is relieved that his commanding officer didn't betray him. Mason says he was waiting for backup, but that will be delayed, so they're on their own. The two men arm up and start attacking the mercenaries in the building. In the following shootout, Liza kills Mason, but Jake retaliates and stabs her in the chin with her knife. Jake then goes after Ramsey, who is fleeing in a car. Jake causes Ramsey's car to crash. He goes to shoot Ramsey, but the man is confident he will live since Jake always hesitates. Before he can finish the words, Jake ends him. Later, Jake meets with the United States Attorney, who reveals that Section 8's mission wasn't to save the country, but to sell classified information to the highest bidder. He is acquitted of all charges and asked to call the Attorney General if he wants to help fight for a better cause. Jake refuses as he feels he has nothing left to lose, so there's nothing left to fight for. Jake goes to his apartment, where he finds Locke waiting for him as he never fails to complete a task. A fierce battle ensues in which Jake shoots Locke dead. Jake leaves a heartfelt voice message to Earl, thanking him for everything. Jake sees a mother and her son laughing on a bus to his new home. He calls the Attorney General and agrees to join the team, as he now has something to fight for. The Attorney General welcomes him to Section 9. Do leave a comment telling us your favorite part of the movie. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next recap. Until next time, folks, take care and goodbye.